How's it going, everybody? Doing a little racing podcast. I just finished this race. This was the 13th week C-Class Truck Series at Charlotte. I had a blast. This was some of the best racing. We're going to jump in the middle of this race, pretty early actually. This is a restart on lap 6, going to lap 6. There was an early caution to set just how we got here. I am the number 3 truck in this race, started 5th. This is a 1800 strength of field race. I'm 1900, so I felt like I needed to qualify to get a good start, and we had a good start, but a wreck almost right at the front. Two cars who also qualified up front kind of got loose on cold tires and wrecked. Probably took out some people behind us. So we're coming back from a restart now, and it is going to be lap 6, but the story from here is that this race gets so good with me and these 3 guys in front, as well as this truck behind. We were able to go green for the whole rest of this, and this group of 4 in front really battled hard. I also think it's hilarious. I followed a truck that says Hail Satan for pretty much the whole race.
The Veloster thing seems cool.
I don't know if that's going to hurt the effectiveness of this video or not. Let's see what the algorithm's going to say about that. I mean, it is a religion. So, catch the draft here. I didn't have a great restart. These guys pulled away, and the truck behind got on us pretty quickly, but once we got in this truck's draft in front of us, we were able to catch up pretty easily. One of the stories of this race, I don't know what the track temperature was, but it was very slick on exit, and I felt like the rears got hot really fast, and I think we're going to see that here from me in a second. Just had a little issue and kind of lost the rear from pushing too hard. But you'll notice that that really happened to all of the guys racing in this group. And at this point, this first group of trucks is 6 trucks long. And the 19 loses it. Now here I thought we were going to get a caution. He got the wall hard. I didn't realize how hard he got the wall. But he saved it, and everyone behind him managed to avoid a wreck. That made this a group of 4. And he pretty much stayed that way for the rest of the race, and these 4 trucks here had some of the single best iRacing that I've had on this service period. It was fantastic. We're in single file for a bit. Eventually the 2 leaders start to race side by side, and they were able to stick it that way for quite a while, but here at this point, really just kind of drafting with each other, pulling away. I think I maybe just had a little moment where I realized that I was pushing the truck too hard and the rears were getting hot, and I started to back off early on in this run and just sit in a place where I could hold on to the 17 truck's draft. There we go. Now the 2 and the 1 are starting to race side by side here, and the 2 just overtook the 4.
My bad.
We'll watch these guys race for a little bit, because we don't really catch up to the 17 for a while here. We ran in 4th for quite a while. Watch this battle up front pretty well, just from the rear chase here. So taking it pretty easy at this point. Lifting and coasting a lot through the turn, and then just driving off the exit. We started right around here to notice that this guy was having a lot of turns on the exit too, and maybe started to smell blood in the water a little bit. I think he was pushing the rears too hard, and they got hot. Kind of like had happened to us a few laps earlier. Take a look back. We've already built a really good gap between that next group behind. And they raced side by side for a long time. There was a point where they started to catch us, but they really were never able to.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to do
Now the leaders are starting to race side by side. These guys had a good battle for a while, but I think the 2 truck overworked his tires. He ended up slipping out of this race. Now that we're starting to bunch up, this is when it started to get really good. The 2 and the 4 a couple times banged doors and bounced off each other, were getting loose, and I'm so surprised that these guys, in particular in front here, never wrecked, because they were right on the edge. But credit to them, they all held on to it. Now you see it, we're really bunched up. This was some really good racing. Lap 15 now. Still got 25 to go. Back to running side by side up front. These guys ran just right side by side for quite a while. That's the first time I've also seen the new Ram in iRacing. Got to watch it for a long time. Ford just barely touched the wall there. Back in our race, we're still just sitting right here on the tailgate of the 3rd place truck. At this point, I even think I said aloud that my goal was just going to be to sit in their draft and save tires. So starting to really watch these guys race hard up front. And I knew that one, maybe both of them would burn their stuff up and would open the door for us to go by. And here the 4 started to do that. The 4 started to get a little bit tight before everybody else did out of 4. I think he was able to counteract it because he ended up having a really strong finish. But now that race for 1st and 2nd with the 2 truck turns into a race for 2nd and 3rd with the 4 and the 17. Four getting loose on exit there. You'll see that a couple times from really all of us. I had a pretty good moment coming out of 2, coming up at some point here. I'm really proud of how I was able to remain patient for this race and just let everything kind of shake out in front of me. I think it set up what turned out to be a really good finish. Starting to get back into the line again. Just jumping ahead. You see these guys are still a good bit behind us. They raced pretty hard. And if they would have been able to line up and work together, I think they would have caught us. But they didn't. There's a point coming soon where none of us were working together in this front group. At this point, I was starting to really think about saving tires and making these tires go the whole way. Here we go, the 4, taking a look at the 2. The 4 almost caused a wreck there, and that caused him to back up quite a bit. And now the 17, I think, smelled blood in the water. He started with that side. I thought about following him here, but I didn't think I'd be able to get a real run. And just dropped him behind the 4. Now the 17's up to 2nd. We're racing the 4 for 3rd place. And this is just, I mean, really bumper to bumper racing from 2nd back to 4th. 1st is just a little bit ahead of us. 4 taking a look back on the inside of the 17. see an opportunity here. Just keep running our line. There isn't really anything for us to do there. With a potential option to get past him. Force trying to stick that low line gets a little loose. Now the 2's coming back to us as well. Look how close we all are going into 1 on lap 24. The 4 slides up the track just a little bit and gets into the 17. We're able to just drive by on the inside. Still going to give that off. Now we're up to 3rd. The 17 stayed right behind us. He wasn't back out too much. See him still right on our rear bumper. At this point, I thought the 4 among this group of us was struggling the most, and he was the one that I expected to have the most fall off from. But that just never seemed to happen. I'm not sure what he was doing to save his tires, but he did a good job. It looked like he was pushing really hard. And we see a look up the inside, and right about here I started to notice that all of us were sliding up the track on exit on 4, and for a handful of laps I was able to make some ground by counteracting what everyone else was doing, but it didn't stick. Got a little loose on exit there. Just let the 17 go by and slip back into 4th. Just pushing the truck too hard and lost 3. You'll see all of us do it at some point. That was my moment. We're still alive, still in 4th. And the trucks behind are starting to catch us a little bit. See, the gap's not quite as big. I think they got it down to 1.2 or 1.7, but never able to fully close the gap. I think that's the moment where I realized the 2 was the one that was actually having the most tire fall off. Because he, just like all of a sudden, seems to just totally drop off a cliff. The 4 is going around the outside. Makes it stick. 2 gets loose. And from this point on, the 4 was never caught. He ended up winning this race. And as the 3 of us raced back here for a second, the 4 just drove away from us. So the guy who looked like he was pushing too hard early on ended up winning this race. Maybe the opportunity for him to get clean air and drive his own race kind of allowed him to do that, because the 3 of us really fought hard. The 2 was also really struggling. He might have backed the 17 and I up a good bit. See, these guys are still catching a little bit back there. Coming up on maybe the final 10 laps here. And this was just such solid racing from 1st through 4th. We were able to string out and drive away from the cars behind a little bit. 2 was really slowing us down. He was really back in the corner after 3 and 4. I had adjusted my deceleration points to that blue banner there on the wall, getting back in it right about the end of that Charlotte turn 1 sign. 17 gets loose again. Same thing we did to let him by. He just opened the door back for us by doing the exact same thing. And here, I'm starting to think I need to drive away. The 17 had a little bit of fall off. He was able to stay in line. The 2 in front is still really slowing everybody down.
Daniel, who's got me into the rock.
Right about there is when I realized that these guys were racing and that they weren't going to catch us anymore. Now the two just slid up and shot back a little bit. See what happened here on entrance. Well, the two gets tight here. And this is one of those moments where I realized that we were able to drive it off the corner better than the 2 and the 21 and the 17. And now we're second, and I'm starting to think I've got better tires than everybody else. I'm going to drive away and catch the 4. I think the 2 just eventually lost us altogether. You can see, look at the gap the 4 built just in those few laps of having clean air and letting us race behind him. We were never able to catch him again after that. This is basically the rest of the race. I think I started to realize it about here as the 4 continued to drive away that the race for us is going to be for second place. Coming up on 6 laps to go here. This racing was so fun. 2 starting to fall off a little bit, but the 17 and 3, we were both able to preserve our tires pretty well. We got 5 to go. Trying real hard to hold on to second place. You can hear the 17. I can hear the 17 catching me. He started to get a better run off the corners than we did. He's able to hold the inside better too. Looks like I got maybe a little loose there. And then, yeah. And that's the final pass of the race. I got 2 tied off of 4. The 17 was able to hold the bottom better, and that was really the story of the race. If you could hold the bottom of the track better on corner exit, you were going to get a strong finish. And for us, that was how the race ended. We had 3 laps to go after that. Kind of was able to sit on the rear bumper of the 17. Never caught him. Ended up finishing 3rd. Had a great result. Very happy. I picked up all the iRating that I lost in yesterday's race in the late model stock car series. Literally all of it. I'm right back to where I was before that race. So the hunt for 2,000 iRating continues. I'm just 22 points away from 2,000. Getting back to it for the first time in like 7 or so months. But that was how this one ended. Just a blast. iRacing can be so good. This is a really fun race with some clean racers in a C-Class lobby. And I just thought I'd share it. But if you enjoyed this, I hope you hit the like button, subscribe, and throwing up some more videos this week. Looking at running Darlington in a live stream and the NASCAR iRacing series later this week. And maybe a little IndyCar at St. Petersburg over the weekend. We'll see. Until then, everybody, take care. Have a good week. Be good to each other.